So if you've been watching this channel for any length of time or listening to my music, it's no secret that I love playing fretless bass. I would say it's my main voice as an instrument. I have been a bass player for about almost 20 years now, and I would say at least 10 of that has been playing fretless bass. Whether it be session work or my own music, I've always found little lanes where I could fit the fretless bass in, not always so subtly. Now you might be wondering why the fretless bass. And before we go any further, I will clarify I do play fretted basses as well. I do play fretted basses on quite a lot of things, particularly when it's other people's music. Sometimes fretted is just the right tool for the job, but I do like to play fretless wherever I can. Now, like I say, you might wonder why that is. And well, I'm going to get into a few of those reasons here today. I will cut in some clips as well from gigs and rehearsals and songs where I've used the fretless bass the way I would, because it's a very versatile instrument. Not everyone's going to do it the same way, and I've kind of found my lane for it. But to just get straight into it, the real reason is that I love the fretless bass is that vocal quality. It's really versatile and it has a vocal element to it that really is totally different to a fretted bass. I do sometimes joke that fretted basses or frets are just auto-tune. And it is a joke, but really, when you think about it, it kind of is. A fretted bass goes from E to F sharp to G, so on, without the increments in between. Unless you play bends, you only get the note that the fret is tuned to. With a fretless bass, you get everything in between. You get those glides up, like a human voice. You only get that fretting with vocal stuff if you use auto-tune. It's not something a voice naturally does. The voice has the ability to blend between notes, to go slightly out of tune here or there, and the fretless is no different. You can play out of tune. Intonation is something I work on constantly. It's something that I am quite hard on myself with. It's something I'm very judgmental of my own playing over. It's a real source of imposter syndrome for me. But it is something I constantly work on. And for that reason, it makes you a better and more in-tune player, in the same way that singers have to work on their pitch. But the risk and the effort and you might even say hassle involved in that, there is a real reward for it, and that is that expressive vocal quality that the fretless has even, that a fretted bass just couldn't ever really recreate. It is incredibly expressive, and I think that is the big reason why I favour the instrument. I feel like I can be at my most creative, expressive on the instrument when it's fretless. What I have found is that I don't have to do all the slides and the things that make it sound fretless to really benefit from this instrument. It's even playing notes straight, just plucking them, no sliding, but maybe adding a touch of vibrato. It just adds a certain expressiveness that you can't get on other instruments. And of course, there's also just the tonality of the bass. A fretless bass, because it doesn't have frets and it's the string directly on the wood of the fingerboard, that has its own character. Of course, you can vary that up with flat wounds or round wounds. When it comes to strings, you can have P bass, jazz bass, active, passive. They will all vary the sound as well. But a fretless will have its own character. Even if you don't do the stereotypical fretless techniques, the fact that you don't have frets, particularly with slap or playing with a pick, you will hear a tonal quality that a fretted bass just doesn't have. It's just a bit different. You might love it, you might hate it, but it does have its own thing. And further to that, effects pedals react to a fretless bass very differently in some situations than a fretted bass. Particularly for synth bass sounds, you can recreate those glide or portamento sounds of certain synths. For all of these reasons, this is why I love the fretless bass. It allows me a level of expression that I can't get from other instruments. But beyond that, it also allows me to play vocal melodies, or melodies in general in my music. I push the fretless bass out on some occasions as the vocal in the music. It's accompanied by modular synth or synthesizers like the ones next to me, but the melody or the vocal line is coming from the fretless on some of these songs. Actually, on quite a lot of them. This gives me that characteristic at my fingertips to be able to sing without using my voice. I think that's pretty cool. But of course, these are all just the reasons why I love this instrument. It's just my opinion. Let me know what you think of the fretless bass down below. Is it just out of tune nonsense? Is it a really cool instrument? Let me know what you think. If you've got any tips for other people who are looking to learn this instrument, or even just songs, let's go with that. Any bass lines with a fretless bass that really made you want to play the instrument, leave all that below, because it'd be fun to talk about these things. So thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit like, subscribe, all that usual stuff people ask for. Please click the notification icon and all that stuff, because it really does help with the channel. If you did enjoy this and you want to hear some of my music, then all of that is on Bandcamp and on YouTube, link down below. On both, it's Gavin Forbes Music, also on streaming sites as well for the most part. If you want to keep up to date on new music coming out or gigs, things of that nature, Instagram, Gavin Forbes Music, that's where most of that happens. So thank you very much for watching, and until next time, keep working on those bass faces.